Hey everyone, in the forest today. It's a beautiful forest actually. It's raining a bit and supposedly there's some petrified wood and agates in here, and even a Cretaceous area where we might find some plesiosaur bone if we can find the cliff. Let's go look for it. There's no pathways or anything, a lot of thorns. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'll let you know as soon as we find something. Do you see what I see? I think I'm at the Cretaceous area. If I'm not mistaken, that's a bit of marine reptile bone in there. Ooh, that's so good. Plesiosaur or mosasaur? I'm not sure. No, it's good, whatever it is. It means I'm in the right place. That's quite an interesting bone actually. It's got a bit of detail to it. Awesome. Well, we're on the board. I haven't found agates or petrified wood, but I'll take a bit of marine reptile bone any day. It's a really thin bone. It's got lots of detail on that side. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna take a close look at all these rocks over here. See what else is around. Yeah, it's a shame it's broken off on that side. It's not very thick, but I'm hoping that's a complete bone at least, whatever it's from. Plesiosaur, mosasaur maybe. So cool. Let me GPS tag it, take us some photos just so I know where I found it. So I've actually got no idea where I am. There's a bit of jasper down there. I've been looking for a bit to cut on my new lapidary saw. It's got a bit of yellow there. Not sure if it's true jasper or if it's just kind of a red stone. Yeah, if I don't find a better one, we can cut this one open at home and see what's going on inside. Look at this cool little bird here. It's so close to me. I think it's just having a look at what I'm doing. Found this weird concretion, and you can see on this side of it there's something in the middle of the screen there. There's a little bit of flaky bone, which I'm going to assume is a fish. I actually think I saw a scale in there somewhere. It's not very exciting, but it is a fossil. I think it's fish, but yeah, not sure. I'll take it back. Those are the two parts to it. Maybe it's something worthwhile. You can see there's something in there. Just following this old stream bed. I can hear water rushing somewhere close by. I might go check it out. Maybe there's a little stream nearby. I've moved closer to the river. There's quite a lot of rocks exposed. And have a look at this. Is that bone? I'm not sure if it's bone or wood. There's a bit over there, over here, and a really nice one there. And some more back there. I'm not sure how big the concretion is or the rock is. Yeah, that might be worth taking back. It's already quite broken and split there. That split's going all the way through. So I might be able to get it back home. That's really good. want to say that's wood. Just by the look of it. But I'm not sure. Like that looks more like bone over there. And that one as well. That's a good find. Yeah, there's more over there. Gonna have to try and dig this out, see how big it is. Have a look at that piece. That's beautiful. It's heavy, but it's doable. Everything seems to be on this side. That's a good find. Could be plesiosaur, mosasaur, or a tree. Yeah, I'm not convinced that's bone. That does look bone-ish. But it could also just be a tree, which is still really cool. Oh, that's a good find. It's a shame it's so badly cracked over there already. Let me see if I can trim it down. There's some of it that hasn't got any wood or bone in it, which I don't need to take along. The reason why I'm so confident everything's kind of centered around here is that this is the middle of a concretion and it grows outward from whatever's inside. So this would have been the middle and this is kind of the shell over there. So I'm quite confident I can remove those little bits over there. Just make it quite a bit lighter to carry. What I am going to do is that piece that I removed and this piece I'll take along just in case. It can sometimes help with dating it if there's any forams or anything in there. Back at the car. Managed to get it back in one piece. It's got a few cracks forming, so I'm going to have to consolidate it quite well at home. I'm resting it down on the surface where the wood or the bone's exposed, because that's the flattest one. Don't want to put more pressure on it than I have to. Not a bad day at all. I'll do the wrap up at home, maybe have a closer look at this, see if we can see any bone texture or maybe growth rings in there. Here are today's finds. Really not bad for a new location. Got a big piece of what I now suspect is bone. I think plesiosaur probably, or mosasaur bone. Quite a few pieces in there. This really nice piece of what I suspect is part of a vertebra from a plesiosaur or a mosasaur. And then this cool bit of jasper. This piece over here is a really beautiful bit of bone. You can see there's the honeycombing. I think it's a broken piece of vertebra. So the vertebrae, the plesiosaur vertebrae, have these processes coming off them, and I think this is one of the processes. But judging by the size of it, this would have been a big animal. I don't think that it's worth prepping really. Maybe cleaning up this side over here a little bit. But the rest of it's pretty well exposed. You can see on this side, it's almost got like a W pattern over here. I'm sure someone's going to recognize that. After looking at it under some better light, you can really see this is bone. There's a bit of bone structure to these these bits. And I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's another one over here, 6 bits of bone. So that's a really good bone cluster. What I really want to do is remove this section over here, so where this big crack's going. The crack's almost all the way through this bit of rock, and I can't glue it together because there are a few pebbles in this crack over here that I can't get out. So unfortunately I'm going to have to just remove this rock, take the pebbles out, and then try and glue it back together. That'll make it a lot easier to prep, and will also give me an idea if there's any other bones inside here. That is so loose. I barely did anything and it's coming loose already. Just look at all those stones in there. You can see that's wide. It wasn't going to get glued back together. All those rocks in there. I'm going to vacuum all these little rocks up, and then we can see how thick this piece of bone is over here. I've cleaned this bone up a little bit, this cross section of it, and it's about 60 millimeters. What's that? Almost 2.5 inches. Yeah, that's a cool bone. I'm not seeing much separation between the rock and the bone, so I'm not sure if an air scribe would work to prep this. This might have to be remove the bulk of it with the air scribe and then do the final bit with acid or air abrasion. I think let's go have a quick look with the air scribe if we can remove this little bit of rock here at the top. That will tell us if the rock's going to separate nicely from the fossil. If it doesn't, we're going to have to find a different way of prepping it. An air scribe won't work then. Maybe acid or air abrasion. That was about half an hour's worth of prep work, and the rock over here was actually great. It just flaked away nicely from the bone, and you can see the bone's beautifully exposed over there. This rock over here does not want to come off at all. It's not flaking, so I'm going to have to make another plan for that. What it has allowed me to do is to get a bit of a better idea of the shape of this, what I really suspect is a vertebra. To get an even better idea of the shape of this vertebra, let's look at the corresponding side. Remember that piece of rock that I took off? That's the other side of that vertebra. And you can see it's slightly concave on that side and very concave on that side. So this part over here just joins up on there, and I'll glue it back together and then try and prep it out completely. I like keeping the bone in the rock because it kind of shows you the relationship between the various bits of bone. I'll try not to take it out of the rock if I can help it. Time for another sketch. So hopefully this one goes better than the crab I tried to draw last time, which people thought was either a crab or a seal or a rabbit. So if we're looking at a cross-section of a vertebra, the one we've got here is kind of like this. So you can see it's concave over there and over there, which, if we had to choose between plesiosaur and mosasaur, would mean that it is a plesiosaur. A few assumptions in there, but if it was a mosasaur, we'd be looking at something more like this. Also concave on the one side, but convex on the other side. So you'd have the concave side over there and the convex side over there. And that's kind of mosasaur. This is very simplified, and I'm not an expert at all. That's my understanding of the difference between a plesiosaur and a mosasaur. A few assumptions in here. Assumption number one, this is Cretaceous, so 66 plus million years old. That's an assumption because I don't know where it came from. It wasn't in situ. It was a little bit away from the Cretaceous area. Assumption number two is that it is a mosasaur or a plesiosaur. Those are the two most common animals from that age of this size that we find around New Zealand. We don't find many dinosaur bones. I think there's only been a handful found on the North Island. Assumption number three is that this is indeed a vertebra. It has got that look to it, but fossil bones are difficult to ID. I'm pretty sure that is a vertebra though. Quite a few assumptions, but I'm going to go plesiosaur for this one, just because it's concave on both sides, as you can see on that side. Thanks so much for joining me for that hunt, everyone. It had a little bit of everything, a bit of exploring, a bit of prepping, a bit of cutting rocks. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. It's always good fun going to a new spot. If you're after some more content, a little bit behind the scenes footage and a few secret projects, go have a look at my Patreon. Stay safe. I'll see you on the next hunt.